Nation, welcome back to our channel. I don't even know where to start, what to say. Last night's game was horrible. Horrible. I mean, just we have to come to. I think that we just all need to, as a fan base, need to come and face the fact that we just have a horrible team, and the only highlight to our team was Dak. I think Dak bandaged a lot of the problems the Cowboys have, and without having him, exposed us even more. Like, we just suck. We just suck. Like, I don't know how to say it, that we are just not a good football team. I don't see any positivity from last night.
Nothing.
I don't.
Embarrassing. Just an embarrassing loss. To get out there, I was on J Tuck's show. Shout out to J Tuck, my brother, man. I was on his show this week, beginning of the week, and we were talking about I had so much optimism, and he wasn't. He was being a realist. Let's say that he was being a realist, and I was like, no, man, Dalton can do this. We can rally around him, but he was right, man. His defense, I thought it would change with Nolan being on the sidelines, and we had a little better performance against the Giants. I should have known better. This is the Giants, but gave us a little faith that we played well in that game, but we're not good. Coaching staff's not good. Front office is not good. The players are not good. The roster is bad. We overvalued this roster. Remember, that was one of the big things coming into the season. We're like, oh, we have a lot of depth. And then if you really break down the roster without the big names and what's behind them, there's really nothing there.
We don't. That's what I'm saying. With Dak gone, we have been exposed to.
Yes.
We're a horrible team. We just don't. We have. I don't know. We don't have. I can't even say we have all the players. We're playing. Injuries take a big part in that.
Right. We did have a lot of injuries.
We did have a lot of injuries. So I give a little credit to the fact that we do have a lot of injuries, especially like the offensive line. So when I said that I wasn't worried with Dak going down and Andy Dalton can kind of step it up and lead us there, I still believe Andy Dalton. I believe that position's not the problem. I believe it's everything else.
Right. I mean, the offensive line was getting beat up last night. I mean, Dalton, we couldn't stay balanced. No. Zeke's fumbles were huge. I told J Tuck, that's the key to win this game. We got to stay balanced, feed off a play action, run 21, but you fumble the ball like that and go down, how was 14-0 so fast.
Right.
You can't ask Andy Dalton to throw 50-something times and win this game, and it was a shit show from then. And, we can't just put it all on Zeke because the defense can also make some stops after those turnovers, but that defense ain't stopping nobody. They couldn't stop a middle school, high school team.
This is why I'm going to go back to saying that why Dak was the bandage to this horrible team. Because with all the previous games, with the fumbles, Zeke has fumbled prior times, even Dak has fumbled prior times, but he's put us back in a position to be able to win the games. So, yeah, losing Dak was huge, but again, it exposed to all the things, and then it makes me say that Dak doesn't really deserve the Cowboys in the sense of he put that team on his back.
Right, even they didn't reward him.
And they didn't reward him because even with Dak, our defense couldn't stop anybody. We were still 1-3. 1-3. And then he goes down and we win the Giants game. But even with him putting the team on the back, we were still a losing team because our defense couldn't do anything.
Right. This is going to show Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones how important Fuller is to the Cowboys and his front office and the organization. Dak is the glue that held this whole thing together, and you see what happens now without him. Like you said, he was a bandage to a lot of stuff on this team, and him being out now, we're in for a long season.
Yes, and I don't want to say it is a blessing in disguise, but it opens up the eyes, and I hope it opens up the eyes to the organization to realize that you need to do something, because this is the same thing that happened with Romo. Romo put the team on his back, too. We had a horrible defense still back then, too.
Yeah, and some people say we had an okay defense. It was bad. That secondary was never good.
I see everything. I'm on Twitter, and I read about how some people say, well, with or without Dak, they have all these weapons, with or without this. But this team just sucks. I think we just all need to say it and accept it, that this team is not good.
Right, it's not good.
There's not, and I think that's what. It doesn't even anger me right now this week. I'm just in this mode of my mood is just flat because I just have to accept the fact that
no expectations.
We don't.
I told J Tuck that this is the game that's going to show us what we're going to be for the rest of the season. And I'm not a guy that tanks. I always believe in my team. I'm always confident in them. And we have talent on that offensive side of the ball. We got receivers that could destroy defense. It's just we have injuries on the offensive line, and the roster is not what we thought it was, especially on that defensive side of the ball. That defense is one of the worst in NFL history. No. I think we've given up the most points through 6 games since 1940 or something. That graphic came on the TV last night, and I was like, wow.
We've given up 215 points in the last 6 games. The defense is, it's like, you know what, we kept saying we thought that the only missing piece of the defense was the safety, which I still believe is still the biggest part. I mean, Worley gave up, was he the one who gave up the 80-yard touchdown or the 40-yard pass? I don't even know.
He's been getting up stuff all season.
That we gave up such big plays, but the defensive line just sucks too. We thought getting Dontario Poe. I think the only good part is the Aldon Smith. Like, I've seen only
bits. Seen a little bit of flashes, yeah.
But the defensive line just sucks too. Like, Tyron Crawford doesn't do anything. Poe is like a little marshmallow out there. Like, the defensive line sucks too. The linebackers suck. As much as I love Jalen Smith as a person, he's struggling. He's not a good player. He's just not the same after his injury. You want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but we just have to. I think this is why I'm so in this mood, because I just have to realize I have put so much hope and optimism in this team, and now you just have to realize that this is not the team that I thought we had.
Yeah, a lot of blame goes to Steven and Jerry Jones.
Yes, I think
this is not a 1-year thing. Where we're just saying that this happened this year. This has been going on for 20-something years. And you see them putting the camera on them guy in the press boxes. You see them putting the camera. It just angered me so much. Mm-hmm. I was cussing a storm in here, so pissed off at those guys, and their selfishness to build a solid team because they can't put their pride down that they built the team.
Yeah.
They want the credit. They want all the credit. They can't go out and hire a real general managers or run a football team. They want to do it all. But you can't. You can't do that. The Cowboys need a general manager that's a football brain. These guys, Jerry Jones and Steve Jones, are businessmen about money. We don't need that. We need a football mind. But guess what? It's never going to happen as long as the Joneses run the franchise.
So, to that note, we were listening this morning to the Cowboys radio, and I don't know who said it, but he pretty much said, he didn't say it in this sense, but this is what I'm saying. We won't be a good team if we don't hire a general manager, because the general manager is a football guy. You have an owner. An owner can put accountability to what your general manager does, can put accountability to what your coach does, and can say, hey, I gave you so-and-so amount of money. This is not working. What can we do? But we can't do that with Jerry Jones being the general manager, because he's not going to put any blame on himself.
And it will never change.
He's not going to say, oh, shit, I messed up. I should have done this, this, and this. He's not going to say it, because he's going to back himself up.
Right, he's got every title.
Steven Jones, yeah. He is owner, president, and general manager. He is not going to. This is why we do need a general manager, because we need the football guys that know and that can bargain with Jerry and say, listen, I want this guy.
Right.
What can you give me? What's the money you can give me for this guy? Because this is what we need.
Right.
Jerry Jones doesn't know that.
Right, because, like I said again, they're businessmen, and they're about money. The reason why the franchise was built in the early 90s was because of Jimmy Johnson putting teams together through his own personnel. He built his team. Jerry stood out of the way. That was Jerry's team. That was Jimmy's team that won that 3rd Super Bowl. Yep. That was Jimmy. Yeah, that was Jimmy's team that won that 3rd Super Bowl, not Jerry's team.
No.
So it's been continuous for 25 years, and it's not going to change. We're stuck in this.
No.
The only thing we can hope for is some kind of change, that they bring in some football minds or do something. I just don't see it happening. But the way that they're building and constructing these teams, we're not going to win games in the NFL. We're not.
And this is why
we won't be competitive. We won't.
This is why I like saying my mood is very flat, because for the past 20 years we saw this stat. Since 1996, Cowboys have not made it to a conference championship.
Yeah, we were with the Browns.
25 years.
I think we were with the Browns, Bengals, Dolphins.
The Dolphins. So that, when I saw that, you know what? That's what, and I remember telling you, I want to say 2-3 weeks ago, that we have to come to the realization we're like the Dolphins. We're average and we're not going anywhere.
Right. That's your expectations now.
That's what my expectations are.
That's what Jerry Jones and Steven Jones has giving us the fan base. That's the expectations now.
As a Cowboys fan, you think like you're gonna be elite, like you're gonna be with like the Patriots organization and
Chiefs
like,
or the Ravens.
Chiefs, the Ravens, like these big organizations that have good football teams. Like Bill Belichick did a good job like with that team.
And if you look at the way that they're built, is because they're built through their general manager and their front office, which are football minds. These are not businessmen. These guys know football.
Yeah.
And we're being run through a business. We're not putting personnel out there that can perform. No. We went in with a special team players at our starting safety spot.
Yeah.
Like, how does that work? Like, what are they seeing that the fans are not in that guy? Like, what are they seeing? So, right now, a lot of blame goes on Steven and Jerry Jones for this team. Losing Dak and injuries. Teams lose players all year through injuries. But they find a way around it. Granted, Mike McCarthy's his first year here. He didn't really have a camp and stuff. You got to give him the benefit of the doubt. But some of these calls are questionable. It's going for a field goal at we're down 28-3 or something like that. Like what are you thinking? And again, another missed field goal by Zerline, right? He missed another field goal. We cut Kai Forbath for him and bringing in his own guy. So these are little mistakes and things that you think about. Like, what were they thinking when they did stuff? What was front office? What was Will McClay, Steven, and Jerry thinking? So again, it was embarrassing last night. The team that we thought we had is not there. Granted, injuries, but we still have talent out there, and to put up 10 points and struggle like that was embarrassing. We're gonna have to play the rest of the season, but right now your faith in the team is diminished, and you're kind of hoping for a top 10, top 5 pick right now because it's gonna get harder.
With that loss, we're still number 1 in the division, so our division sucks. We know that.
Yeah, I tweeted earlier in the week you can win with 6 wins.
We can win, but even that, like, I'm not even hopeful for anything right now, but. Even with that, like you're not gonna make it past the first round. We already know that, but we need to look at everything as a whole because, like we said, Dak put a bandage on a lot of things. But I think our defense should be our number 1 priority. Like even with I think that even our offensive line is shot. That's another issue that we need to deal with.
No, they're going to have to rebuild that in the offseason.
Yes, but if we had Tyron Smith, Leo Collins at least back,
right,
or at least one of those two, and, Zach Martin didn't go down, I think Andy Dalton had a little bit more of a shot to bring us back. Which, that's what I said. When I said last week that I know that Andy Dalton can give us a shot, he's not Dak. You can't compare anybody to Dak. But he can give us a shot. We could get some points. But... He had 1 interception. He did have some misplays. He did, but one of his interception wasn't even his fault. It was a pass interference. Right, you can't blame a lot of it. Zeke had 2 fumbles.
Those 2 fumbles changed the game.
That was 14
We can
points.
all agree that those fumbles change our game plan on offense.
So if you look at it, those two fumbles is 14 points. Then Worley's missed, I don't even know what to say on that, which is another 21 points. So you're at 3 scores based on mistakes that weren't
the Worley was a Christian Kirk touchdown, right? We just ran by him.
Christian Kirk touchdown.
That's basically our season in 1 on defense. That's just that one play showed us what our defense has been the whole season.
So that's what I'm saying. That's 3 scores off of that. Other than that, then they scored like maybe 2 touchdowns.
You can't ask Andy Dalton to bring back the team with that offensive line.
You can't. And he threw for 54, I believe, I'll check the stats, but I believe somewhere I was reading he threw for like quite a bit and only 266 yards.
Yeah, most of it was probably in garbage time. Third and fourth, I blanked out, man. I really did. I was just so pissed off at the team that we have. The defense is just embarrassing.
The worst part of it is the defense sucks. Like, I would have been okay if our defense, how they played in the beginning, kind of did a shutout, and then Andy Dalton kind of brought us back. We would be okay. As Cowboys fan, we would say we can move up. But we've just we just suck. I don't know what else to say.
We've got problems all across the board on this team, and a lot of guys are getting paid hefty contracts, and they're not performing to their contracts. No. We've made a lot of business decisions that have been really bad, signing some of these players, and they're gonna have to make some changes. Maybe before the trade deadline or in the off season, but we've got to dump some of these contracts or rework some of these big contracts because next year the salary cap is predicted to go down, right?
Yes.
And they're saying they're going to tag Dak again, which is really unfair. No. And we want a long-term deal for Dak, and we'd hope they work it out. But if you do have to tag Dak once again, we're going to be in some salary cap problems because the cap is going to be really down. So we've got guys that have got to come off this team that are not performing well to their contract, and we're going to have to make some decisions. If we want to build back up from the ground up, do we want to just continue to build the defense because we do have a great offense when everybody's healthy? But for this rest of the season, I consider it a shot. I don't have expectations for it. I would not be mad if we have a top 10, top 5 pick next year because we can definitely use the pick on defense and in the secondary.
I completely agree. I think that, you know what, I am not going to have high hopes. Do I believe we could probably win the division? Yeah, we could probably win the division.
Yeah, because you can win it with 5-6 games.
I feel like I'm going to watch the game to see how people play and just see the Cowboys for the future.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do for McGovern's young
more so, like, I was trying to watch McGovern to see how he plays. I mean, he came in for Zach Martin. Like, I don't know where to go from here. Like,
it just now we'll just have to. I've been here and done that many years. We just have to sit back and evaluate the young guys for next season. That's basically what we have to do.
You know what it is hard. What the hard part is you said it. Like, you've seen the 3, 5, and 11 season.
Early 2000s, yes. I seen.
But you didn't have the same talent.
No, the talent was not like how it is right now on offense. No.
I think that's what made us very hopeful. Is we had all this talent, but it just I hate to have things go to waste.
We gotta go back to COVID and this coaching staff not being able to put their hands on the players. Mm-hmm. Maybe Mike McCarthy didn't have a hand on the roster like he wanted to because of what was going on. Maybe he didn't get to be able to sit down and do his research on his rosters. So that's what I'm saying. We gotta just don't blame the coaching staff right now. But I mean, granted, Mike Nolan's horrible as a defense coordinator.
Yes.
I would not want him back. I'd like him to be fired, but we can't put this on Mike McCarthy yet. We can't. We gotta give him some time. First year coach, new players. He just lost his quarterback. Our offensive tackles are out, so we can't put this on the coach. We've got to put this on how the roster was built and how the guys are performing in these new schemes. So, but like I said, once again, my expectations are done for this season.
Yeah.
Like they're shot. This defense is not going to win us any game, help us win any games. So, if I had to say, well, I expect us to win maybe 5-6 games at least. I mean, the next 2 weeks will tell us a lot. We've got 2 road games at Philly and Washington.
Yeah.
We still got Pittsburgh on the schedule. We got Baltimore. We have some complicated games still left, so I see us maybe winning 5-6 games.
I see it too. I mean, I think like with Washington, they're a horrible team. It's just I don't have confidence in this defense.
Yeah, they might let Alex Smith throw 500 yards on us.
So we don't know with this defense.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, I know it's just that's all. I don't know what else to say. That's it.
I'm just like.
So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to follow us, like us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We would love to hear what you guys have to say. We would love to talk to you guys about this. Like, do we want to know, are we feeling the same way? How are you guys feeling? Just hit us up on Twitter, comment down below, let us know what you guys think. We will see you in our next video.